that.
Go ahead, Heather. We are live, so if you want to talk to the chat room.
Okay, yeah, okay, chat room. Let us know when you can see and hear us. I'm gonna type that. All right, folks. Yeah, no, we were, talking about banana hammocks, Guild Wars too, because evidently there's not much growth going on there.
Definitely.
Oh, allegedly. Okay. The chat room, let us know when you can see. No,
that's pregame show. You got to be on the show to hear that pregame show.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how we get guests.
Family friendly guild. Family friendly guild.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, we're on 409. Thank you, Max.
Yep. I think I have
All
to.
right. Sounds like we're ready. Sounds like we're good to go.
Yay, 409 there, 409 there. This is the cleaning episode, right?
Yes.
But it did not start clean.
No.
We need it. That's why I put Formula 409.
Brain bleach. Exactly. Okay. Where do we keep that brain bleach? Okay.
Give me just a second. There we go. Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
Sure.
Are we just echoing each other now?
Yes.
Yes.
Kitty join us.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
She's already checked out.
All right. So Mew, whenever you are ready, I think. Yeah, everything looks good. I'm not getting OBS.
Why is your wife sending pictures via Facebook, Mew? Sorry.
She's had a day.
As opposed to group chat?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was in the group chat with Amy and Annalise.
Oh, okay.
I think it's her shelfie.
Yeah. Is she sharing the stew that we started?
No, I think it was a shelfie. A game shelfie.
Oh. Alrighty, I guess we'll get this monkey show going. Hopefully, I have the balcony open, but hopefully it's quiet out there. So.
All right then.
Because there's a cat out there, I can't just close the door on the cat.
Yeah. Because you have the weird yard cats.
Yes, and it's 105 out, so I didn't want them out in the backyard.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
We're actually cooler than you are, so.
Yeah. Let's get this monkey show going in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
This dating simulator seems to have a lot of combat in it.
Are you ready for Brewfest?
Pew, 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 pew. And so door.
Are you ready for a light patch? A light patch in Final Fantasy XIV.
And we have Kenny here to talk to us about AIE in ESO.
All that and more coming up right about now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to Formula 409, because we need to clean up this podcast. Episode 409 of the podcast celebrating you, the AIE Acta-esque gaming community, the Die Has Been podcast. This is Mewcow, and to my left, in a cooler state of being, is Makala.
I wouldn't call 96 cool, but the calendar says it's fall, so that means that I'm going to be baking all the things pumpkin and apple for the guild kitchen.
Hey, I see 83 for next Sunday as a high.
That sounds brilliant, please.
And that voice you hear is Tetsemi.
And my Palia spreadsheet is pretty much done and in maintenance mode because, well, we'll talk about that coming up.
And the voice you have not heard yet is our special guest, Dan Kinia, who is here to talk to us about AIE and ESO. Welcome, Dan Kinia.
Hi. As I wave at a non-existent camera
That's okay.
while saying hi.
Yes. We're all there in spirit.
Too many Zoom calls. Anyway.
All right, so we're going to see what everybody's been up to, starting with Dan Kinia, since she's been the one not with us the longest. So what have you been up to?
Oh, so many things. My Baldur's Gate 3 party is currently sitting in camp, though. Took a little bit of a break from them because Starfield came out. I spent a lot of time in space lately. So that's been a lot of fun. In real life gaming, I am in a in-person Thursday night group with a couple people that some of you might know. They might be in here with us.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're in the house.
We play some 5th edition there, and that's hanging out with friends and having excellent meals. Yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of Starfield, a little bit of ESO, a little bit of WoW.
Alrighty, that sounds like you've been up to plenty.
Oh, cat.
So then let's see what... Podcat. Let's see what Makala's been up to in your neck of the woods.
All right. So, a lot of work right now. Gaming stuff. Like Kenny mentioned, our Thursday night game, which means I then get to turn to Kenny and say, "Hey, what are you doing Sunday? You want to come?" And she always knows what this means. Someday, I'm actually going to invite her. Say, "Hey, should we do this?" I might invite her over or say, "Hey, do you want to go out some Sunday?" Just to throw her off her guard. In the dice, we finished one. Well, I'll let Ted go into a little more of it. But we finished the first chapter of our current Call of Cthulhu campaign, and all I gotta say is I rolled a critical success of 1 out of 100 against a power roll with a really, really ancient spirit, which meant that it wasn't trapped in the room with me. It was a good time.
Yes, and there was a delay because she was not paying attention when she rolled the dice. Everyone else was, but she was distracted.
Okay, no, okay. In my defense, you know what I was doing, my love?
Taking
a
notes.
Spreadsheet. No, a spreadsheet, because I was going through. So with the Call of Cthulhu game system, at the end, and I knew we were coming up to the end of the chapter. At the end of every chapter, you get a chance to roll an improvement. So whatever your skill is, you roll a 100-sider. If you roll over that skill, you get to roll a 1d10 for improvement. So everybody marks their own character sheet, but I keep a spreadsheet as well, where I put down what people got improvements on, or the chance, what they
chance to improve.
Yeah. So I was going through the last part of this to make sure I had everything. So I roll it, and I'm doing this, and it's quiet. And I realize it's quiet because I'm not reacting. Everyone's staring. And usually, if somebody rolls 100, or a 1. If someone rolls a 100, it's a whole different thing. Yeah. I'm like the biggest cheerleader,
right?
So I wasn't looking, and I looked like, like, oh, it was, oh my gosh, it was an amazing moment. I was so excited.
It was.
It was. In our Sunday Star Wars RPG, we all made our sabers, and now we are tracking down yet another artifact, and this actually goes directly into my friend Talia's backstory. She plays a twin, who's my character's wife. My friend Talia, who plays my character's wife, her backstory. That made more sense. It sounded like they were twins. Right. But basically, she had a brother who was disappeared. We have found out he's gone, to the Order of the Dark Star. Presumed to be dead. He is not dead. He, of course, is a, Dark Jedi or Sith, whatever you want to call him. But we are tracking down an artifact that his group was also tracking down. And we found it. But getting there, Ended up, going to this planet where we had to track down the location, which also the Order of the Dark Star was looking for. Got to the planet, found the temple, navigating through it. Lots of really fun puzzles and skill challenges, which is always fun. And then, we get to we get to where we can get to the temple, but we have to go underwater, and there's a horrible, I swear to God, I thought we were playing Call of Cthulhu for a few moments. A horrible Kraken type creature, and then these little bitey, fish, little space piranhas. I get down to 1 hit point. That's always fun. Or 1 health. Get through that, heal up, keep going, another puzzle to figure out. And as my friend Talia, her character, reaches for the orb, which is the device we're looking for, which actually is like a map of the ley lines, the 4th ley lines all throughout the galaxy in areas known and unknown.
Sounds
These
like an Ahsoka
4
map.
It really is. These 4 Beskar armored knights come out. And we were in the middle of that fight, and but the crit table benefited me for once.
Oh, you didn't get the 155, someone else did?
No, they did not get 155. I critted somebody for 146, which means they die immediately at the end of the next round.
Oh. Harsh.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was against one of the Force Knights.
Very nice.
It wasn't against a player. They die at the end of the next round unless they're administered aid, which is what my crit got changed to last time when I had rolled 155. So it got changed because we realized there was an increase of 10 on it. So it was actually. So no. So I the skill or the crit is called the end is nigh. So
Very
unless
nice.
you get that crit healed and get healed, you die. So I was very proud of myself. But other than that, every single game I'm in, the first portion of the game has been talking about what people have been doing in that dating simulator.
Yup. Accurate.
It's a fun game, and
I need
going
to
back to it.
Yeah.
So I did the early beta, and I had so many issues. I need to get back to it.
Yep.
Because I know it's a very different game.
It is. They've streamlined a lot of the stuff and didn't try and cram all the tutorial into the ship at the very start. so,
Wonderful.
yeah. Much more gradual intro. And they have a story, essentially a story mode. So they have 3 modes. They have the I'm here for the story, the I'm playing it normally, and then I'm a tactical genius. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thrawn that stuff.
What's that?
And then
Thrawn that stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
the karmic dice to help if all dice hate you.
Yes.
Oh,
It help balances so that you don't fail quite so often.
Which,
yet-
as we
Yeah.
well know, is a
And
Kenny
yet-
issue.
I still got 2 crit ones in a row with karmic dice on. I have no idea.
Who are you, Dan Kinia?
Well,
I
and
will
from what I can
admit-
tell,
It was.
Say
I
it
will
from-
admit,
It
I
was a skill
quit. I
check.
quick save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you just
I will
go
quick save before I roll.
F8, F8, F8.
yeah, as they say, save's coming. But from what I can tell, though, is even if you horribly lose, like the game is good about making sure there's still a path.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Like-
100%.
Like, unless you firebomb your whole party all at once, you typically have a path around what's going on.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
and there's
It wouldn't be fun if that was the case, It's like
I
if
agree,
there was,
yeah.
end of game around every corner, then who would play? Except for Elden Ring people, because
I was
Or
going to say,
hardcore
or
Yeah.
when our buddy Lars was just over.
Yep. Oh, we'll get to him.
well, and part of it for me is there's certain checks, particularly ones involving animals, that I don't want to fail.
Right. No.
So
100%.
if I fail that check, I am re-rolling that thing. I don't care. We're having it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. Yep. Which that's a whole fun thing, and one of my characters has animal talking, and I those are always fun
Yeah.
little side adventures.
Yeah.
With the very possessive squirrel.
Yes.
That sounds like a really messed up children's book.
And the the strange ox in the Druid Grove.
Yeah.
These are children's books, people.
Well, what have you been up to then, Tets?
So a lot of I don't want to say finished Palia because it's still a beta game, but they have released a couple weeks ago. They released almost a month ago. They released the first of 4 temples, exploration areas that add on to the game, and the water temple was the first one. And once you go through and solve the temple, think like shrines in Link Zelda, yeah. They're like mini shrines, and the water one was really fun. It was more of an exploration than a puzzle solving. The fire temple that they just released a week and a half ago was a puzzle solving. It was a straight up shrine from Zelda. Like, you have to know, decode these things, pay attention to these symbols, so that when you get asked later what order they need to be opened in or input in, you have them correctly and that sort of thing. Really, really fun. It's definitely still a beta. The most recent patch that introduced the Fire Temple, I think either their QA or themselves are still getting used to some of the interconnected systems in the game, because you weren't able to finish one of the temple bundles because it was asking for a recipe that didn't exist in the game. And
no.
And when you finished 3 of the 4 bundles, you actually got the final reward that you were supposed to get for unlocking all 4 bundles. And then when they fixed it, so the recipe was one that was in game, you just had to buy it from one of the vendors in town, or the villagers in town, and completed the 4th bundle, you were supposed to get also furniture recipes called Ember Fire to go in the style of the Fire Temple. That never happened either.
Oh, no.
So hang on 2 seconds. Sir, thank you. Sorry, dog's playing with the screen.
Please hold for puppy.
So, yeah, but and there's other stuff like that. Like, one of the quests for the villagers at level 4, you have to go in to talk to 13 villagers to get donations for this other villager. And if you didn't start with one villager first, and you went back to her, you came to her after you'd already started on the others, you don't get her contribution. So it just says, it's an optional piece, it just says 12 or 13. You can turn it in and get the full reward, but it's just stuff like that it's like, I don't think they quite have their check boxes or their flow trees down yet.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some of this going on. On the plus side, other than that one villager, I was able to get all the villagers to the relationship level 4. So I've done all their quests, except for the Plume Hound of Hacian. They just added the ability to increase your relationship with the Plume Hound. So now he's at level 2. And sorry about the squeaking.
Squeaky toy.
Exactly.
Pardon our son.
So got that done, and then once that's done, basically went back to Baldur's Gate 3, and I started a new save because I realized I was, not that I was doing things inefficiently, I wanted to do things in a certain order, and I kept screwing it up. And so finally I'm like, okay, I'm going to start over, because no spoilers, it's still Act 1 that a lot of people have gone through. But there's a part where at the Druid Grove, you either have to defend the Druid Grove because it's being attacked, or you can preempt that by going somewhere else first and solving the problem of the attackers. So this time I went there first and did that, and it was a lot more straightforward. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I've just taken that character just going into the Underdark, and I saw a path I didn't take last time and went, oh, yeah, that's why I didn't take that last time. That looks like a mess of a monster. I swear to all that is Gary Gygax, I thought they were throwing a beholder at us. It's not a beholder, but it's for the level
Well, that's
you're at.
good.
It's tough. No, it looked almost exactly like beholder, but it's a different creature. And I was like,
Right. Oh, that's
okay.
good.
All right. I think I can do this. And then half the party died and went, yeah, no, I need to be
Or not.
better prepared for that fight. So I'll go another direction for now. So having a lot of fun in Baldur's Gate 3 now. Trying to talk my way out of any fights that I can talk my way out of.
Good idea.
And it is a game much like Starfield that does allow add-ons. The only add-on I'm running is one that doesn't change your save file at all. And it's called Camp Events. And all it does is put an exclamation point over your character's head to notify you, hey, if you go back to camp and sleep, there will be an event that cycle.
That's neat.
Yeah, because the game, otherwise, I felt like on my first playthrough, Chapter 1, I missed a lot of opportunities because some of the opportunities only come up during a certain period, like they're interstitial. So you have to kind of catch them as they're there. And so that's the only one I'm running. There's another mod I looked at that, much like SOTOR, will tell you whether it's a dark side or light side choice. It's it's a companion influence choice. It will tell you if you make this decision, here's how much influence you potentially gain with these characters.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe on the next playthrough, but for now, I'm just running the one that says, "Hey, go back to camp, idiot." So,
Right.
but that's mostly what I've been doing. What about you, Mew?
Well, I started strong on BG3, but then Starfield came out, and I haven't touched it since. So yeah, that definitely is scratching an itch that I probably didn't know was there for a long time. It's essentially it's Fallout.
Right.
It's mass Fallout effect basically.
Yeah.
It may not be quite as decision tree heavy as Mass Effect, but it can get there. Like there's definitely, especially when you get into the persuade menu. Trying to figure that out. I think they still need to work on the persuade a bit, but yeah, if I can, talk my way through things, then I can. But it's kind of funny that even like with BG3, like they give you ways of getting around things if things fail or if you oof. Yeah. I've seen lots of people, for example, during the tutorial section when you first meet up with a pirate boss. You're supposed to do something with that boss, but a lot of people go in guns a-blazing and don't think anything of it. So I've seen a lot of interesting fails of people like they'll throw a grenade, and then the dialogue starts.
Right.
And they're like, oh crap! I was supposed to. Boom! He's dead. So.
Right.
But that's a valid, like you that was one of the options. You could have just decided to immediately attack him anyway. So. You made the decision before you knew there was a decision to be made, but yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I've finished 2 of the faction quests. I might go back to the main story quest one day, but it's a Bethesda game, so
yeah,
that's kind of normal.
I mean, honestly, like most Bethesda games, the main story quest is the least interesting quest in the game. The side quests are much more interesting.
Oh yeah, no, that's like these. I have to say that if you're thinking of a faction quest and you want to know more about the world, definitely do the UC stuff.
Yeah, the UC banner was really good.
That one really introduces you to the world and the setting and what happened in the past. The Freestar is also good, but in a different way. It really just kind of focuses on them, which I guess a faction one should do. But yeah, so those are the 2 that I've finished. and the rewards are definitely nice. I'm still using the Freestar reward, and I just checked out the UC reward last night. So yeah, I'm debating if I want to go back to the main story or if I want to go and check out the Ryujin stuff that's over in Neon City.
I've done Vanguard, Freestar, and Ryujin. I'm currently working through the U.S. Sys Defense / Crimson Fleet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So last big faction quest to go through, and then I get to decide if I jump back into main story or if I keep doing side quests.
Yeah.
But yeah, the side quests are interesting. The faction quests are a ton of fun. Having a lot of fun with that game.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm trying to get through it. I'm not rushing myself, but I am going a little faster than I might normally go because the next the DLC, or I guess the expansion for Cyberpunk, is coming out this week.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And that's another series that same. I mean, it's a different setting, but it's Neon, but the whole game. So, but yeah, from what I've seen, they're doing an overhaul to Cyberpunk. And it's a whole new area. Idris Elba is going to be a main character in that one.
Oh, wow.
Keanu is still around and involved, and they have some other really good voice actors. But if the trailer is any indication, that it sounds, and it's going to give you some more backstory. That's one of the things that I feel like they kind of expected you to know Cyberpunk's world going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And now they can flesh it out.
Now they can flesh it out. So yeah, now you're going to understand more about the country that you're sitting in. So that'll be a nice little bit there. But and I'm curious if they are going to address the elephant in your skull or not.
Right.
But yeah, that's from what I've seen. It's a really good overhaul. I mean, basically the game didn't start until 1.6 anyway.
Right.
That's when the game launched, honestly, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping back into that because that definitely also hit just right. Like once they got some of the bugs out of the way, it hit just right. Like that's the kind of game I would like to get into.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the problem. So you got BG3, you got Starfield, you got Cyberpunk. Like it's too much all in the same month. Basically.
Right. Yeah. An embarrassment of riches.
Exactly.
It's like you guys couldn't spread this out a little bit. Like
no, because this is all the COVID games finally shipping.
It is. It is indeed. That's the thing. And then it's not the only one because I'm not even. I mean, into it as much, but I used to be more into mech games, and there's a huge mech game out right now that people are just loving. Yeah, like that one. I'm hearing that
it's
for
really
that
good.
style of game. Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
And there's I mean, the list just goes on of stuff that's coming out that they've been working on.
Yeah.
Max just sent the reminder that Spider-Man is coming out soon too.
Yeah, there's another Spider-Man, and the remakes that they've been doing have been really good in those. Like it's all the stuff that they've been that slowed them down is all now just cascading out.
Yep.
And there's not enough time. Like I don't have enough time for one game, let alone 3 or 4. So,
question for you two playing Starfield: have you done the Mantis quest and gotten the ship?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good, because
It is totally worth it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that
was one of the first things I did.
You go straight for that because some of the pirates just see, oh, it's that ship. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So.
But then, just as many as there are those that say, "Ha, the Mantis! I'm going to kill them finally!" And it's it's kind of balances itself out. But yeah, no, like when that thing dropped in my pocket, I'm like, "Huh, what is this?"
Yeah.
Looked it up. Oh, I definitely want to do this. Yeah, no, that's the thing. I mean, I've finally replaced the goodies I got from that, but they took me a long way through the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I replaced some of that after doing the Freestar quest because cargo space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about that.
Well, and then I'll also say it definitely helps if you listen to the rich old guy and pay attention to what he needs.
That's my next major quest.
Yeah, so when he asks you for a favor, it's worth doing it. But I'll leave it at that so you can find out what happens there. But But yeah, I mean, it's, and then of course, we are also doing everything in our power to summon the fall because Texas is stubborn.
Yep.
And doesn't want fall. It's still summer. It was over 100 today. Miserable. So we went out to Michael's and we got some fall stuff. We made a fall meal.
Oh yeah,
We're-
absolutely.
Like we're doing everything in our power to try to drag it through.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of doing that.
We need
As
it.
Tet and Kenny can
Oh yeah. Nope.
tell you.
Very
Yeah.
good. All right.
But that's enough out of us. Let's see what the rest of you have been up to. We're going to dig more deeper into ESO. That's why Dan Kinney is here.
Yes,
first-
it is.
Let's cover the week's news everywhere else.
AIE News.
All right, in Nomads news. Well, as you guys heard at the top of this show, there's lots of Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield talk.
Funny that.
Who did you romance? What food items did you model your ship after? Did the Mind Flayer get you? How many outposts have you created? And there also, if you're interested, I know Tat was watching them. There are 2 episodes of the BG3 actors playing D&D. They're on YouTube. Check our show notes, or just type in BG3
Just look up-
D&D.
Yeah,
Pretty sure it's gonna come up.
Or
And
High
from what I
Five.
understand, they're playing their actual characters,
They
right?
are.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
both. So you get to see Karlak voice Karlak, and you get to see Lizelle voice
Wow.
Lizelle, and Asterion, who, good lord, that actor is just the amount of simping for that character. It's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Oh, I left him behind.
No, I know, but there's a lot of people that he resonates with, and
Oh yeah.
you know, like some people have the all goth party, so they have Shadowheart and Asterion, and I forget who the fourth one was, but yeah, it's just like it's amazing. Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
no, it's yeah.
All right, before we go down that rat hole, in WoW retail, Brewfest started this week. There are new quests such as barrel rolling in the Dragon Capital Veldraken, as well as the usual ones outside Orgrimmar and Ironforge. Event boss Corin Direbrew can drop a new armor appearance for the renewed Proto-Drake mount. Took Gusty Tail about 20 tries to get this. Brewfest tokens can be used to buy a new shield and a brew barrel toy. Brewfest activities also count towards the monthly tracking posts achievement for the Transmog Obsessed. Otherwise, there are many people finishing up achievements, leveling alts, and looking forward to the next patch. Kinney, how was New Braid?
Well, New Braid last night was pretty good, although we didn't manage to make it all the way through the raid. I will say that every time I have not led my own raid because I've been out on vacation or unable to for some reason, they have managed to do a full clear of that raid. However, when I'm there, there's a problem. I think I'm the jinx.
It might be all the time spent from saving you from yourself.
I spent some time tanking the floor. I will admit that.
Yeah. We know who you are. It's a feature, not a bug, hon.
Exactly. But New Braid's still fun, and we're all having a good time. And we usually have room for a couple extra people. So if you've never joined in and you want to, just keep an eye out on Saturday nights.
All right.
Yes, that is a goal, Gusty. One day there will be a full clear of New Braid with Kenny, but that was not this past Saturday.
No.
Wow, back in time in WoW Classic, the Wrath of the Lich King raid team is waking up and running dungeons. So they're doing it early, I'm guessing.
I believe so. Also, their raid leader had broken his hand, I believe, and is now on the mend.
Yeah, I hear those are important. for
Yeah,
raiding.
absolutely.
So, yeah, that would explain it. But there is an interest in the classic hardcore activities, which I've seen. Yeah, it's been pretty popular. It's led to more folks joining AIE and Wrath of the Lich King leveling up. Then we, of course, have patch 3.4.3, which includes Ice Cream Citadel or Ice Crown Citadel, ICC 5-man dungeons, which were pretty good. Random Dungeon Finder, which is surprising because they said they weren't going to, and now they are. And some other little features. That's coming October 10th, so that'll be an interesting time. Joyous Journeys has returned with a 50% XP boost, so enjoy that. The raid team has cleared Ragefire Classic on. Oh no, is it the raid team or just in general? I think I heard that someone actually risked their hardcore characters to
Lars.
do the Ragefire Chasm.
Yeah.
Oh, Lars did.
Lars.
Okay, yeah.
Lars and 4 other people got together and
risked their heroic or their hardcore characters to do Ragefire Chasm and cleared it. So death is permanent on these realms. That's the big thing. Like,
Right. It's one and done.
Yeah, there is no battle resing. There is no resing. It's just you get to be a ghost or you get to transfer off. One of the two.
Yep. And there, there are people that are like, no, don't even bother to spend the silver in points for resurrection if you get it. Just that skill doesn't work. So why put skill points into it?
Yeah. Some will do it because it's staring them in the face as the one spell they don't have yet.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. Does that mean that hunter pets are also hardcore, or do they get to be rezzed? It's interesting.
Oh, that's a good question.
Chat room. Any info on that?
Because warlocks cheat.
You can
yes.
Okay.
Oh, so you're not rezzing them. You're just waking them back up. They just they went to sleep.
Yeah, much like the red team.
Yep, they took a dirt nap. That's all it is.
Yep, dirt nap. Yep, that's just ketchup and Kool-Aid. But well done on that, because that's an impressive feat. Like one death, you're done. Like
it really is.
That's the whole thing. There have, of course, been some very spectacular deaths in Hardcore Classic. If you check out the aptly named Hardcore Graveyard channel in the AIE Discord, you can see some of the details there.
Yep.
And Max just added, by the way, some hardcore players play their pets as hardcore too, but it's not in the game.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right.
So warlock pets cheat because they don't die; they just go back to the Nether. And
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Just read some of that stuff. All right. In SOTOR, in guild activities, last Friday they had not one, but 2 groups playing. One for grit some fun, flying pew pew, and one for doing ground activities. So if you want to play with friends on Friday nights, it's always worth checking the menu. It might not be PvP. And if you want to play with friends on Tuesday nights, join for MFN. They're usually looking at accomplishing galactic season objectives, but variety is also to be expected. And last but not least, if you want PvP on Wednesday nights with friends, join Machete and Stasks in the House of Pain for a rousing good time. Yeah, that sounds fun. Just kidding, guys. All are welcome.
We're going to skip the ESU news now because we're going to let Keeney get into that a little later. But time for puppy.
Yeah, I had to rescue a puppy who was starting to eat furniture. All right, in STO news, they're currently offering 20% off on ships and related items in the Zen store. Players are temporarily able to buy vanity shields in the Dilithium store. Equipping one of these shields will give your ship a unique appearance. And FAR, which is the Fleet Action Report video podcast, is looking for topic suggestions. If there's a topic you'd like to see us cover, please reach out to Greebog or Nicodemus on Discord or go to fleetactionreport.com.
Yeah, I will say the first time I saw a giant space jellyfish sitting next to me in space, I was concerned, confused, and then realized it was one of those vanity shields. So you can make your ship look like some interesting things with those vanity shields. All right, over in Final Fantasy XIV, we've got a lot more information on patch 6.5, Growing Light. It is launching October 3rd, and it's going to be a full day patch, by the way. So 24 hours of no playing Final Fantasy XIV. So you'll have some time to play Starfield or Baldur's Gate 3. I almost say Battlestar Galactica for some reason, but
BG, yeah, sure, it's fine.
Yeah, BG, BSG, BG.
Or watch BSG season 3. Either way.
Yeah, it all works. So this is going to be a decent size chunk of the MSQ because it's a major patch. It will be the final wing of the Alliance raid, which is named Thalia. There's a new lunar themed dungeon. There is a new trial, likely themed same or similar, and there's of course going to be well, not of course, but the trial will have an extreme version of it so that you can get fancy weapons. There will be a new variant dungeon, which is kind of the choose your own path style dungeon. Or you can also call it Endless Dungeon Light, because it's kind of that same setup for the Endless Dungeons, but they stick that into a regular dungeon size. You just choose what path you're going. They're, of course, going to do the hard mode of that, which is called a Criterion Dungeon. So just many dungeons handle it. They're just throwing all the dungeons at you this patch. There will somehow be further Hildebrand, more Tataru, and of course, with Hildebrand comes more Burlic weapons. So expect that. We are also finally welcoming our Xbox friends into the Final Fantasy XIV family. So we'll see a lot of new faces running around, and maybe some old faces saying, "Hey, I can do this on Xbox." That's cool. And they're also bringing us a lot more island sanctuary stuff. I hear a new gathering area, some new animals, some more fashions, more things to farm up and grow, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. And if you're not in the middle of doing the explosion, there's still time to get in on it. So make sure you hit the Discord for that. It's the Overseas Casual Discord. Basically, we started on Tuesday. We basically set the rest days as days 1 and 2, and then you basically put in 2 week schedule for 2 weeks of what you're going to do, and then you don't talk to that mammoth for the rest of the 2 weeks, so that once the patch launches, you go back and talk to them, and you get 2 weeks worth of experience saved up. And basically, it's at least a level, because we're going from 16 to 18, I think.
It's usually usually 2 levels.
Yep.
Yeah. So this might be a light patch, but it's definitely not a light patch.
Nope.
Which is But if you wanted anything from the Moogles, by the way, the earnings will end this patch. I don't know if they're doing away with the actual vendor, but you won't be able to earn them anymore. So, if you need them, October 3rd is the last day. You got a little over a week to get it done.
All right.
Good to know.
Absolutely. All right. Guild Wars 2. Remember that Dungeons and More Nights is the second Friday of the month. And all are welcome. And in Lotro, on Bull Roar, they now have 2 looks at testing of the new upcoming Mariner class. So far, it feels like a fun melee class to play. Time is running out to celebrate Bilbo's birthday, as the event ends early on the morning of the 26th. I don't know. His birthday was 2 days ago. They're still their birthday because Frodo as well. But yeah, fits. If you want to get some of the group deeds clear, go check out the Lotro channel and see how they can help folks get together and get those run.
All right, all that news, we're all done, except now it's time to turn to Kenny and see what's going on in ESO.
Oh, so many things. MFN's on Friday. We've been changing it up a bit depending upon who shows up and what's sort of going on in the game. We've done dungeons with the Undaunted event recently. So we queue for the random and then split up into groups of 3 and walk in a front door and overpower everything anyway, even though it's a 4-person instance. We've done some trials, some of which are easy to fully clear with about 6 people, and others that I've practiced my floor tanking quite a bit for.
Oh, yeah. It's a feature, not a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. We've got another Tales of Tribute tournament for the guild that will be starting Monday, October 2nd, and will run for about 4 weeks. The prize pool is going to pay out at least the top 10 players, and top prize is going to be 1.5 million gold. So it's a lot of gold, a lot of furniture and plans you can buy.
That is.
Win or lose, everyone seems to have a great time with the tournaments. occasionally we play the games during MFN, so we'll hang out and chat while playing. And if you're interested, but you're not confident in your abilities to play, or you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. A lot of us will do demonstration or practice matches ahead of time just to show people how to play and give some strategy tips and tricks. I do know that I seem to be target number 1 for the upcoming one because I placed well last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically been you and who's the other person? There's been 2 winners of all the tournaments. It's you and I forget their name. Sorry, it escapes me.
DP and I tend to be the win, but we have a lot of fun with it. And while it's a competitive activity, we don't treat it like one. We treat it as just a couple friends playing cards. So, no hard feelings either way. However, there is going to be an update coming out. It's scheduled for launch on October 30th for PC, Mac, and November 14th for consoles. It is live on the PTS right now, though. It's the Endless Archive and Update 40. The Endless Archive is going to be a randomly generated PvP activity designed for 1 to 2 players. Only limit as to how far you can go in this event is the death counter, because there's a limited number of deaths or team wipes. It reminds me a little bit like the tower in WoW back in Shadowlands, where you'd go through and you'd get boons as you went from section to section. The description reminds me of that a bit, where you get boons.
I hope not, though.
It seems like it's going to be better than that, though. I think.
Have you done the Final Fantasy version, the Final Fantasy 14 version yet?
Yes, I did. Little bit like that. It seems like they've taken bits and pieces from a lot of different content like that and smushed it together. Rewards are going to be mounts, pets, cosmetics. There's going to be a new class set and a new currency that drops that can be used to buy stuff like style pages, class set items, and buffs that carry over to the next time you run. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. There's also going to be some quality of life updates, such as a new group finder tool, a single Grandmaster attunable crafting station for each type of craft that you can get. So instead of needing 50 crafting stations, if you want to be able to make all of the attunable items, you just have 1.
Well, that's great.
So 1 for blacksmithing, 1 for tailoring, etc. I'm betting that's going to be pricey to pick up.
Yeah,
but worth it.
That or require you to hit like every single dungeon in existence to get a piece of it or something.
Yeah, something like that. They're also readjusting some of the quest XP and gold rewards just because they originally were designed to sort of scale, but it's not quite equitable anymore with all the new content and stuff. So they're making adjustments there and rebalancing jewelry crafting to actually make people want to do it.
Yeah.
Removing grains. Grains are used for upgrading items, and currently you have to farm 10 grains in order to make 1 piece of plating, and you need multiple pieces of plating to upgrade gear.
Oh, jeez.
From white to green to blue, etc. They're dropping the grains, turning it all into plating, and making that part easier. Because right now,
yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah, you get the gear to green, and you're like, I'm not even gonna farm the crap I need to get it to purple. I'm just gonna stick with the green. So
kind of getting rid of the reagent piece of it.
Yeah,
at least 1 level.
They're making that a little bit easier. I think that'll see more people do the jewelry stuff. So if you have jewelry surveys on hand that you're just holding on to and you don't do them because it's a pain, you might want to do those surveys to get the grains ahead of time, because when they do the conversion, and we're not sure what the rate's going to be yet, but they'll convert the grains that you have into plating automatically. So get the grains, hold on to them, don't refine them, and let the game do that when the patch drops. I think you're going to get a better value than if you refine them to plating yourself right now. But yeah, those are the big things coming up. I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing how the Endless Archive works when it launches. Maybe doing some groups with guild members as part of MFN at first, splitting up into pairs and seeing how far we can go. But yeah, it should be pretty fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've seen that there's people getting into some crazy levels in the champion system lately. I've seen a lot of people hitting like thousands at this point, so it's been crazy over there from what I see.
Yeah, and you can't, of course, the way leveling works, you just keep going with champion points. I think I might be at like 1,200, 11 or 1,200, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the new end game. Like you're not even considered to be in the end game until you get to about 1,000, which is kind of funny. But yeah, no, it's been interesting over there. Only I wasn't so busy with Starfield.
Right.
I know. I have spent so much time in space lately, and it's pretty awesome.
Yep. Well, that sounds like everything for ESO. If anyone else has anything else to add,
Oh, good here.
no. Alrighty. So if that's it for our show tonight, then while the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank Dan Kinia for joining us. So thank you for getting us up to date.
Absolutely. And if you have questions or comments for the show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find us on the AIE Discord and other non-Twitter related media. We record live with video approximately every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org, and look for the podcast live stream. And look for the link in our Discord server. Discord server is, of course, AIE-guild.org. For past episodes, you can see them on YouTube, youtube.com/c/the AIE Podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at the Keys of Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And if we had member segments, this is where we'd play them, but we have not received any this week. But again, if you'd like to submit one, 90 to 120 seconds, just email us, podcast@aie-guild.org, and we will get them.
Or if you're Link and do 190 to 120 minutes and it should be his own show, we'll put a link somewhere in the notes.
Exactly.
And in 2 weeks, we will be talking to Kelsier about Final Fantasy XIV. So until then, AIE.
This is Dan Kinia.
This is Mukau.
This is Makala.
This is Tetsumi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Woohoo!
Yay! And I already stole one show title from Gusty earlier.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, those are
I figured that one had to be a title.
All your games belong to a very possessive squirrel. I mean, that's honestly that's gonna be hard to beat.
I think that's probably the winner. I mean, I don't know that any.
You guys can also suggest some more, but
yeah, good luck. Good luck beating that one.
Yeah.
Huh? Hello, Hobart.
Yeah. Sorry about the squeaking.
Oh, that's okay. He is 5 months old. He's a squeaking.
Mm-hmm. Better he's squeaking instead of chewing on furniture.
Yeah, well, the problem was his bed is down here, so I can keep an eye on him, and it's right next to my desk. So at one point, I just see this going for the corner of my desk, and I'm like, no! Because he's already chewed a little bit of the corner off one of our pieces of furniture, because his bed is there, and he just flops his head back over the edge of the
convenient furniture to chew on.
Yeah,
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
100%, yeah. So, all right. Well, I do not see any more show titles being suggested, so I think chat room. Thank you as always for joining us.
Thank you, chat room.
It will be Mew and I and Kelsey in 2 weeks talking about Final Fantasy XIV. We will see you then. Bye.
Bye.